So, dear participants, welcome in the expert session of how to scale up startup biz and raise debt plus equity funding. We have esteemed speaker Ravi Kumar Shirsagar sir. Now, Shivangi, are you here? Okay. Shivangi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please introduce our speaker.
Good afternoon to one and all present over here. I, Shivangi Singh Jha, invite and welcome all of you to the expert session on how to scale up startup biz and raise debt plus equity funding. Before telling you about our speaker, let me tell you about IIC. To make you more familiar what Institute Innovation Council Galgotia University is. IIC established as per the norms of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell in academic year 2018-19. IIC Galgotia University received 4-star rating by Ministry of Education Innovation Cell in 2020-2021. Galgotia's University recognized in Band Excellent in ARIA ranking 2021 by Ministry of Education. Galgotia's University received Certificate of Appreciation by IPO, Delhi and Ministry of Education. At present, we have 13 IIC officers, 20 innovation ambassadors, 19 faculty innovation coordinators, 19 faculty entrepreneurship coordinators. The university has set up its incubation center as Galgotia's Incubation Center for Research, Innovation, Startup, and Entrepreneurship, GIC RISE, in 2020. Currently, GIC RISE has 30 startups in the pre-incubation stage. Among them, there are 16 are registered on MSME, 8 startups are in incubation stage and are registered in as private limited and LLP entity. And I'm so proud to tell you that we have 8 startups that have graduated. We have around 60 plus students in our innovation cell. We have 60 plus ECEL students. We have also conducted various events on different domains. We have conducted 31 events in the academic year 2020 to 2021. We have so far conducted 45 events in the academic year 2021 to 2022. And I'm so proud to tell you that we have also filed, published, granted 960 plus patents, and we have around 100 plus alumni entrepreneurs. Now, moving forward to our speaker, let me tell you about Sir Ravi Kumar Krishna. Sorry, Mr. Ravi Kumar is BTech from Dr. PDKV University and MTech from IIT Kharagpur, India. He is X plus MBA from IFT Delhi. He has 15 years of industry experience in agriculture, food sector for government, corporate affairs, business development, public policy and strategy role with NABARD, NCDEX, Agri-Commodity Exchange, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and Community Agro Solution. He is currently working as General Manager with Fortis India Private Limited. He also used to go for guest lectures at Amity Business School, ITM Business School, DY Patil, MIT Con, and many other national, international conferences for career guidance. Lecture on team management, project management, and how to raise equity debt funding. Sir, I invite you to guide our students and moving forward to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and joining with us.
Yeah, it's my
Over to
pleasure.
you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. It's really impressive to know about your institute and like the kind of achievements and the programs and the event you are doing. Thank you so much to Dr. Kumud Shukla also for the other organizer also for considering me for this lecture. So I just wanted to know like all are the students or like some of the faculty members also there?
Yes, sir. There is
Oh.
faculty member also.
Okay.
UG, PG student, PhD student also is there.
Okay. And how many they are from the like a first year or like from the second year?
Sir, I will send you the statistics
No problem.
after the event, sir.
No problem. I will share my screen.
Okay, sir.
Just a minute. Is it visible to all?
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, it is visible.
Yeah, I think I'm getting your voice only. Like I would like to hear from the other people's also. Again, it's very difficult to have a session, especially after the post lunch, right? And the
Okay, sir.
topic is also more related to the finance.
Actually, I have revoked the grant of unmute themselves because some participant if they want to ask, they can raise their hand and they
Okay.
can put their question in the chat box also. If
Okay.
you will permit, I will grant to unmute themselves.
Yeah, I will request if you can permit them also to unmute and speak, right? Because I am assuming no one is there from the outside, right?
Oh, granted, sir.
Yeah. And again, it's more related to the finance. So many times people saying it's very boring or it's not interesting. So it's
Okay,
to be have a one-to-one interaction and like a more two-way interaction rather than the one-way interaction, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
coming
Got
back to our topic, how to scale up the agri-business and raise the debt funding and the equity funding for the startups, right? You are hearing these days, so many startups raise the equity funding or they have raised the debt funding, right? But how to do that? How to scale up our business? So we will do one thing. It's a 1 hour session. I think we are having the enough time. So in between also, if you are having any question, you can ask me, you can unmute and you can ask, right? As I said, we will keep it completely interactive. So we will bifurcate this session into two parts. First is the how to scale up the agri-business. What are the things required for that? And like how to raise the debt and equity finance. And Kumud also requested me, like a couple of people are there from the like a first year. So what are the career opportunities for you going ahead after the MBAs? So that also I will cover in 1 or 2 slides, right? So coming back to like first session, how to scale up the agribusiness, right? How to scale up the agribusiness? What are the things are required? There are multiple things which are required to scale up your business. It's not only about the business idea. That is only one part of your startup or one part of your business. Apart from that, you require the like a team also. You require the scale up also. You require the project management skill also, right? So what are the things required that we will cover? So why agriculture and the agriculture ecosystem? There is a beautiful quote that everything can stop, but not the agriculture. Considering the current situation, like we all seen the like COVID situation 2 years back, there is a completely lockdown, right? Everything was standstill. If you remember, like into 2019, every sector was completely stopped. Aviation sector was stopped, automobile sector was stopped, manufacturing was stopped. Only the agriculture and food sector was going. This is the oldest business we are doing on this planet and it will continue forever. So we feel we are very fortunate that we are working, we are studying in the agriculture sector. We are going to work in the agriculture sector. So try to remain also in this sector because it's a never ending field, right? So what about what about the agriculture ecosystem? Why it is required to understand the agriculture ecosystem, right? If I took this canvas, there are multiple dots in the agriculture ecosystem. There is a processor, there is a traders, there is a buyer, there is an exporter, there are exchanges, there is a finance capital dot also, or the NBFC, right? So we have to understand this agriculture ecosystem. Then only you can work on your startup. Then only you can develop your business idea. Then only you can scale up your business. Otherwise, it's next to impossible. Unless and until you don't know the depth of the water, you are jumping into the water, you will not understand the swimming, right? So this is the same way. So how to develop your revenue model? I will go topic by topic, like how to scale up your business that we are looking after. So how to develop that revenue model? As I said, agriculture ecosystem is a very huge ecosystem. It's a very complex ecosystem also. As per a constitution of India, agriculture is a state subject. So there are a lot of jurisdiction, APMCs, mandis that come under the state permission, state jurisdiction, right? So if you talk about the major participants of the ecosystem, there are like a farmers or FPO who is like a producing or supplying. Processors are also there, like a ADM, Parle, Nestle, Britannia. Some of the trading firms are also there, like Olam International, Cargill is also there. Right? A couple of exporters are there. Bank, NBFCs are also there. They are also working in the agriculture sector. WSP, warehouse service providers is also there. Consumer is also there. So this is the whole ecosystem. So why like I put up this agriculture ecosystem and the kind of revenue model? Because whenever you are doing something in this system, or like as a startup or as an organization, they are working in this ecosystem. These are the multiple dots. Whenever you are connecting different dots on the canvas, that beautiful picture will arise. But if you connect in a haphazard way, nothing will come out, right? If you connect in a proper way, you can see that star, right? So this is the way how you are generating your revenue model, how you are connecting these different dots. And bank and NBFC, that's our how to raise the debt and equity funding or capital, because bank or NBFC or finance dot, I will say, everyone has to go through that dot. It's a very important dot. Like sometime you are putting your own money, sometime you are raising from the bank, sometime you are taking from somebody, right? So, but that is a very important dot you are connecting. So why again these dots? Because whenever you are moving from one dot to another dot, like a farmer to processor or farmer to export house, there is a trade difference. There is a price parity, right? There is a margin actually in that case. And that is your revenue model. Hope everyone is understanding. Any doubt, like you can just unmute and you can speak in between if you have any question.
Yes, sir. Access has been granted.
Okay.
So participant, if you have any query, you can directly unmute yourself and ask to our speaker.
Yeah. So these are the multiple dots. You have to understand this difference, which are the participant in that, because there is a price parity. And that price parity will be your revenue model. Maybe a revenue, I will say not only R1, I will say generally look for the R1, R2, R3 also. Revenue 1, revenue 2, revenue 2, right? Just like a Ola example, they started with the Ola aggregation for the cab, but now they started with the credit facility also, right? So there are multiple revenue model you can generate. So you have to understand this whole ecosystem. Okay? That is the purpose I shown this slide. So in this bar. So why it is required to understand this ecosystem? Especially in the agriculture, there's a lot of uncertainties there. It's completely dependent upon the nature, right? Look at the current scenario, like Russia and Ukraine is going on. Russia and Ukraine is more than like they are supplying more than 50%, 60% wheat to the world. Even our import is maximum coming from like we are also supplying to the couple of countries now. But what happened is as is a seasonal activity, like our wheat is come in the April, May, June, right? So every country is having the different harvesting time. So accordingly, there is a different demand in the particular region for that. Like our Dasra, Diwali, maximum festival started like a September, October, November, right? It will not come in the January or February, right? So every country having some demand pattern. So you have to understanding all these things, which is the like a particular cropping pattern, what is the harvesting time for that particular commodity, right? What are the global supply chain? Because it's completely like after this Ukraine-Russia issue, you must be hearing like we are the second largest producer for the wheat till the time, but our percentage was very low. It's like in the single digit in terms of the export. Now we are supplying to the couple of countries, right? So that is the kind of thing global supply chain you have to understand. There is again things come into that. I always used to say that country boundaries are completely vanished now in terms of the commodity prices, especially after the WTO. I can take another 1 hour session from the WTO, World Trade Organization. We are also part of member of that. Many times you heard about like some tariff barrier, non-tariff barriers, right? So import duty restrictions. So that is a part of the WTO, but that is applicable to the agriculture commodity also. I just wanted to touch upon, so you should be aware, you should be having the knowledge. So after the session also, you can do a Google or you can do a little bit search on that. So our prices, like if I'm a ITC, I have to supply that Ashirwad Atta to my customers. I have to run my plant to the at least 95%, 100% capacity. But if you understand, like we are getting the wheat only for 2 to 3 months, right? So that kind of uncertainty, that kind of, there is a climate change happening. So there are a lot of uncertainty in the market. Government regulations, government putting a stock limit to the particular commodity, currency movement is there. So as a leader, you should have the very strong legs and the sharp eyes. That is the quote I put it. Strong legs to sustain in all kind of situation and sharp eyes to see the market 5 years, 10 years down the line. So you have to keep a very close eye on all these parameters. Then only you can scale up your business, right? That is the reason I'm showing this. You have to focus on the like what are the things happening related to a particular, what are the demand supply chain is happening, what are the government's regulation, what are the government restrictions, how the currency movement. So these are the multiple parameters which can affect your business to your startups, right? So what are the things are required in terms of the like scale up your business? So I put up the team management, proper communication with your team. So again, you can unmute and like if you're having a team of 10 people, like what are the kind of communication required? Like how to communicate with your team? I want to listen it from your side. You can unmute and speak. Otherwise, I will take the names and like then you have to unmute and speak. What kind of communication is required with the team? How to manage the team? Yeah, as I said, it will be not be a one-way session. It will be like a two-way interaction. Yeah, Mr. Abhishek Kumar, Abhishek Singh, Arpita Raj, Ankita Raj. Yeah, anyone? Sir, allow them to unmute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have allowed the participant to unmute their self. They can also start their video also.
Right. I will
Yes,
request
sir.
if you can just start your videos also, because I just wanted to check you are
Yes,
in front of the system and like you are not just log in for the session.
And most of the participant belongs to agriculture sector also, sir.
Yeah, so that is the reason I am keeping or giving the example related to the agriculture. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So how to manage the team? What are the kind of communication required with your team? This is very important. Even if you join any company, any organization, any firm, so these are the basic things you should know. Then only you can scale up your career path, right? It's very important. Any faculty member also?
A very good afternoon, sir. Arpit Goyal this side. I am an MBA student of second year.
Okay.
Okay. As you said that, what are the proper communication that we have done in the team management?
Right.
So, sir, from my side, from my point of view, I think in today's era and modern era, the main and important communication sent to the emails. That mail sent from manager to their colleagues or their supervisor, etc., to create a communication between them. There may be a visual presentations.
बोलो 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 के भन्ने रे मलाई हैन दाइ यसमा गुरु गर्नु न
Any one person at a one time, you can unmute and speak only. Yeah.
नयाँ सिम लियो
Other participant, please unmute yourself. Asmita.
भन्न त भन्न त सुरु गर्दा सुरुमा बारेमा बताउँछु
So you are talking about the official communication, official mail or official communication with the team, right? Any other person? What kind of communication is required with your team?
जान लागि खाली खबर Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
100
Participant, please be interactive.
Go got a miss
Yeah, Ritu Kumari.
Sir, can I share few things about good communication skills?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good communication skills, I think, are the abilities that we can assist to our team to become effective at the sharing information with other team members.
Right.
While some communication skills come naturally, you need to develop other essential skills to be able to leave a mark on the people with whom you converse. Within the team or working in a team or when you working colleague or in a research team or any kind.
Right.
For the good communication.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will bifurcate this team management, especially into three parts of communication, which is essentially required to have with your team. First, I will say is official communication. it generally happen like once in a week or once in a fortnight or once in a month, that team meeting or review meeting with your team. Like as a HOD, you are doing the team meeting or review meeting with your faculty members, right? So interaction with your team. So that is one way of official communication. Second most important is like a personal communication also. So what kind of personal communication? Like one person in my team, he took a 2 days leave last week, right? He mentioned the reason also. Okay, his father was unwell, so he took the leave, right? So whenever I'm speaking next time with him, it's become my responsibility, it's become my moral responsibility to just ask like how is the health of his father, right? So it will take hardly 1 minute, but it's create a very personal bonding with the employee, with your team, right? You are also transferring the ownership about the organization to him. So that kind of personal communication also should happen within the team members, right? If somebody's daughter is in the 12th, you also aware, okay, the result is out. So you can just ask like, okay, what is the about her result? Where is taking the admission? So you're like, it's a kind of little bit personal communication, which is also help to scale up the business, is also create a team bonding within the team, right? So that is also more important. Third is the motivational communication. So motivational communication, just like a cyclic or like a business, our body is also like sometimes you will perform very better way, sometimes you're on the lower side, right? So that kind of motivation is required. As a manager or as a team leader, it's your responsibility to motivate your team, to guide your team, right? So maybe it's like a monthly talk, maybe some kind of success story you are sharing with them, maybe such kind of expert session you are organizing related to your kind of team or project you are handling, right? So that kind of motivation is also required. You should have that kind of motivational communication also with your team, right? So again, for that also you have to read some books, you have to see some motivational videos or related to what's happening in the industry or like to your peer groups, right? So these are the very important to scale up your business if you really wanted to do anything as a business, as a startup. But apart from that, anytime you are joining the any organization also, always remember such kind of team management is required. Otherwise, if your team will not perform, your performance, you can also not perform, right? There is a beautiful quote written down: individual talent win the game, but teamwork win the championship, right? So individual player, if he perform, you can win that match, but the whole championship, whole series, you cannot win. So for that team management is more important. So official communication, some amount of personal communication, and the motivational communication. So this type of communication should always happen with your team, right? Any doubt till the time or any question from your side? So we will go to the next slide. Implementation. Implementation is key, right? Our session is more onto related to how to scale up the startup business. Generally, as a student or as a founder, we think about, okay, we are having this business idea. It's excellent. I had a couple of interaction with the investor. You can't believe they give the very least priority to the business plan or business idea. They give more weightage to the implementation plan, right? They give more weightage to the teams, right? That is the reason we are saying, okay, maximum kind of funding raised by or their startups which is successful maximum by the IIT or IIMs people. So they look at the team also, which are the team members are there, what are their skill set, right? What are the things are required, what is their implementation strategy, right? So implementation is a very, very important thing. So what are the other things are which is also coupled in the implementation, how to do a successful implementation, right? For any project or anything. So if I'm into the trading business, I'm just doing a trading for like a F&B, fruits and vegetable, right? So I am having an order from somebody buyer. If I'm supplying to the Big Basket, we will go with the agriculture example, right? So Big Basket is my buyer. So he is my core partner because he is my buyer. You got my point? I'm arranging some transport, like I'm taking an insurance, so that become my channel partner, right? Somebody given me that lead, maybe through my network, through my professional network, or maybe by somebody personal relation. So that act as a catalyst, that act as a mentor for me, right? So again, this is a very important to have a mentor and coach also in your business. Not only in a business, in your personal life also, in your professional life also. You should have that mentor and coach. First of all, happy Teachers Day to all the faculty members, right? So you are doing that, already doing this activity. So happy Teachers Day to all of you. So what is the difference between like a mentor and an advisor? In the implementation, I mentioned, okay, you have to identify your core partner, channel partner, mentor, advisor, coach, catalyst. So what is the difference between mentor and advisor? Or mentor and advisor, I will make it as the same, mentor and coach. Yeah, please. As I said, it's like a two-way communication. Instead of mic, I am taking the name, you just unmute and speak. What is the difference between mentor and a coach? Yes, anyone from the group or any faculty member? Because these are the very small thing, but that a conceptual clarity should happen. You will remember for a lifetime, right? You will understand what is the exactly difference. So who is a mentor or who is an advisor and what is the difference like a coach? Yeah, anyone? So you are an MBA student, you have to be more focal, you have to share your ideas, what are your thought process? Yeah.
Sir, can I share?
Yeah, please.
I think coach imparts the coaching, but mentor provides the mentoring. Coach is an expert in a concerned field like cricket or anything, wherever mentor possesses the high knowledge and experience. And
Okay.
coach, I think coaching aims at improving the performance of any individual, and but in as opposed of the mentoring, which concentrate on the career related and all round personality development, communication skill, etc. Sir.
Right. Again, you are thinking little bit from the educational point of view. I am thinking from the industry point of view. I know a couple of CXO, okay, they also say, okay, he's my mentor, right? He's my mentor, he's guiding me, right? Even I am also having a couple of mentors. Even, okay, I'm having some, I have to make some decision about my career decision. So I go back to them and I ask like, which is if I'm having two offers in hand. So I will ask them, okay, which one is better for me? What is like, if I'm confused about something, doing some advanced skills improvement or something. So it is more generalistic actually in terms of career, in terms of business. Like mentor can be there also, and the coach can be also there. Yeah. So anyone else? What
Yes,
is the
sir.
difference between mentor and coach? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, the mentor can share their highly expertise and is their skill also. They are eager to motivate their student or the mentee to grow, to develop in all dimensions by sharing their expertise and experience.
Yeah, you are a little bit close to it.
Yes,
So
sir.
mentor is basically maximize your personal and professional growth goals, right? Mentor, you can note it down also. Mentor is maximize your personal and professional goals, right? And coach is basically your step-by-step action plan to achieve that particular goal. Got my point? If I want to do something, I'm having a business idea, I want to do implementation. As a person, you cannot do everything. You have that mentor, you have that coach who can guide you, who can show the path, right? Okay, you are working in a fintech segment, you are working in a tech segment, or you are working in a particular idea. So coach is basically give the step-by-step action plan to achieve that particular goal, and mentor or advisor help to maximize your goal. I have know a couple of startups, they reach out to me, Ravi, like, sir, we are doing a turnover up to 5 to 6 CR, but that same turnover we are doing from last 2 years. We are not able to scale up, right? So there that mentoring is required. What are the other things they need to do in terms of the scale of the business, right? So it's a very important role, and you should always have that mentor in your life, that advisor in your life going ahead. So as I already given the example for the trading for that, right? Again, a to-do list. Why it is like a to-do list is more important in under the like a implementation, right? As a startup, even as an individual, it's so many things you have to do these days, right? Again, from the student point of view, submission is also there. Maybe you are preparing for UPSC, maybe you are applying for some other activity, right? It's a long to-do list. So you should be able to prioritize this list, which is the most important, which is a more urgent, which is a routine activity for me, right? Just a very nominal example. I need to travel tomorrow to Delhi, right? I also need to take an approval. I need to book my flight tickets, hotel tickets. I need to give some presentation also to the Secretary of Agriculture. So these are the activity I need to do. First important, the office will close at 5 o'clock. So I need to do my booking. So at least the flight booking should happen. That is the most urgent. I took an approval. I do the hotel booking and the flight booking. In the night, I can also work on the presentation, right? In the night, I cannot write to somebody and I cannot disturb somebody to do my bookings, right? So you have any task, anything you are doing, maybe in the school life, maybe in the education life, maybe in your career, maybe as a business, as a startup. So you should have that clear-cut bifurcation of the to-do list. Again, I will go a little bit down. You should have two kinds of to-do list. There are sticky notes available in the all computers, right? What is your personal to-do list, right? Okay, I have to do this activity. Maybe like I have to renew my driving license, right? It's a personal to-do list. But if you're keeping it pending, it's also indirectly affect your professional life, right? Why? Then many times we used to say, okay, don't mix up your personal life with the professional life, right? But if your personal to-do list is going big, it indirectly somehow, maybe this week, next week, or next month, or few months down the line, it will affect your professional life, right? So you have to bifurcate your to-do list. You have to bifurcate, you have to put in 3 different buckets, any activity coming in front of you, which is the most urgent, which is the important, and which is the routine activity. I'm coming from the trip to submit the bills is a routine activity. Maybe I can submit today, I can submit it next week, right? It's a routine activity, but I have to do. If I'm not submitting from the next month, I will get a mail from the HR, right? So you have to, that is also very important to plan your to-do activity, to-do list, right? It's a very important in terms of the implementation. It looks very simple, but there's a very strategic things in terms of the implementation. Goal break, right? You want to appear for a UPSC. Again, it's a very big task. Lakhs of people are doing for that, right? There is a GD, there is a pre, there is a main, there is an interview, right? You cannot directly prepare for the mains. You will first prepare for the pre. So accordingly, you have to, if you are planning for any big goal, right? Maybe some of the students, they are thinking to join as a faculty, right? So PhD is a mandatory these days to become assistant professor, especially from assistant to associate, right? Any central university or IIT, NIT is just like a mandatory, right? So if you want to become an assistant professor in NIT or any IIMs or like IIT, the PhD is mandatory. So you have to plan, you should go for the PhD, right? You should plan for your postdoc. So what is your goal? What is your outcome? You have to break in a multiple goals, right? To achieve at the proper time and to complete it. Transfer the ownership. Again, we are just covering the first topic, how to scale your business, right? So transfer the ownership within the employee. We talk about the team management. We talk about the how to communicate with the team, right? So how to transfer that ownership? Anyone from your team? What do you think? Like if I'm having a team member, Narayan Murthy, he started the Infosys, right? Whatever the vision, whatever the mission, he put up in the Infosys. Right now the company is there. Maybe a couple of CEOs are joining, couple of CEOs are also joining. But how to transfer that ownership with them? How to transfer the ownership within the team employees? As a HOD, you wanted to do so many things, maybe events or programs or conferences, other things. But how to transfer your ownership within your faculty members, right? They must be, they more implement, they are maybe keen to do the only kind of finish their coursework, just to finish the classes, right? So how to transfer that ownership? Anyone from student side or faculty side, which is very important. I know a couple of CXO, so they are working only for the for the pay, right? That is the biggest issue with the founders, owners, to transfer that ownership within the employees these days. Yeah. Anyone from your team?
Dear participant, be interactive with the speaker. You can do not hesitate to speak anything. You just ask any query.
You are a team leader, you are a manager, you are having a team of 5 members, 1 or 2 is not working. How to transfer that ownership? You have to complete one project on time, right? So how to transfer that ownership within the team members? You become a CEO. Think about the 20 years down the line, 15 years down the line, right? You are the CEO of the company. Couple of business heads are reporting to you, marketing, sales, CFO, finance, account. But that transferring the ownership, that is the biggest problem with the CXO people these days. Yeah. Anything, whatever coming in your mind. You're not taking an exam. It's not like a completely open interactive session. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, firstly, managers define the role of their team members, and team members also take the responsibility for the same. That just like that, you are the CEO of the that work profile which you assign for that, and
Right.
take a decision-making power to lead that role. And these are the or apart from this, you should also use your expertise and skills to improve that role and some uniqueness about that role. That's why from these things you can get what is your role and what is your role assigned by your manager.
Yeah, you are very right. So you're talking about the decision making. First, you have to build up that trust within the employee. Okay, you are also having 100% trust on your employee, your team members, right? Whatever they will do, they will think about the company. They will think about the integrity. Many times I spoke in my lectures, like integrity is more important than the intelligence, right? Intelligence you can learn. Everyone can do the mistake, right? It happens. We are the human being. We are not robots, right? But integrity is more important. Your intention is more important. So you should have that trust. You should build up that trust with your employees, with your team members, right? Give some decision-making power to them. For each and everything, you are asking for your permission. For everything, you have to go to their HOD. Sorry if I'm not like interrupting to your process flow or something, but there should be some decision-making power at particular levels in terms of the financial power also, and in terms of the other things also. Like there should be like, okay, he had to make a choice. Okay, he has to travel tomorrow, and like he's shifting his day plan because of some things to day after tomorrow. So that kind of liberty you should give it to him. That kind of decision making, if it is a rational, is there, right? If it is important or it's good for the business point of view, right? So rather than just like you don't be a boss like that, right? The boss culture is not there. There should be the ownership, right? So that is the reason I always said that integrity is more important. So you should be able to create that trust. You should transfer some kind of ownership. You should transfer kind of some freedom, decision-making power to your employee, to your team members. So that is the most important things, to transfer the ownership, right? Again, from the startup point of view, from the business point of view, financial numbers matters, right? You have to always keep this in mind. You are in the maximum, like you are in the educational world, right? So numbers matter, starting from your grades also to your CTC also, right? So always focus on the numbers. In terms of business, it's the most important, how much business you are doing this year, how much you are doing in the next year, right? So you should have that focus on the number always, if you want to really scale up your business, right? So this is the picture about the Team India. Unfortunately, we lost the match yesterday, right? So the captain you can see in the like a couple of players, right? So what is the role of a captain? As a CEO, you are running, you are having your own startup or your company, or you are the CEO, or you are like a team leader for your team, right? You are acting as a captain, right? So what is the role of a captain?
To lead the team together to win the competition or a championship.
Right. आप हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट लाइक आप अनम्यूट करो, आप हिंदी में बात करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. तो कैप्टन का क्या रोल है एग्जैक्ट? इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. Yeah, anyone?
Main role is a motivation. Motivation.
Okay. This is the one parameter I will say.
And another one is trust on the player.
Okay, trust is also there.
To motivate their team members.
Motivation already ho gaya. Yeah.
To take the initiative.
Okay, lead from the front, I will say. Yeah.
To analyze his or her team, that which member is perfect for what kind of a job. Like Bumrah is for bowling or a batting, and in which over they have to bowl a Bumrah in first over and in last over. To analyze all the terms and condition about the pitch or the versus team, against which team we are playing.
Yes, to identify the skill set, I will say.
Yeah. Like a SWOT analysis.
Yes. Anyone else? What is the role of a captain? You are the team manager, project manager, CEO of the organization. You are the founder for your startup. So what is your role? I am taking as a founder, co-founder, as a captain. Yeah.
Sir, captain is deciding the role of particular players and strategizing the team.
Okay. So good. Like all the points, motivational, identify the skill set. So I will get a point to point wise. First role of the captain to identify the particular skill set of the player, right? Everyone having a different skill set. Somebody may be good in the marketing, somebody may be good in the account, somebody may be good in creating the presentation, somebody good in the maths, right? From the student point of view. So you have to identify the particular skill set of the particular player, right? As I said, individual can only win the games, but if you want to win the championship, your team should perform, right? The yesterday's example, the best example, your team should perform. So first thing, they identify the skill set of the particular player. Second, allow them to play at their skill set. That is more important. You know the skill set. Many times the particular manager, like or the CXO, or they are doing the kind of biasness, they are giving us some favoritism to the particular player or to the faculty member, right? So allow them to play at their skill set. Can you just mute? Somebody is speaking from the beginning. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir, I am muted.
once you identify the skill set, to allow them to play as per their skill, right? That is a good for the organization, good for the company, right? Your success are more in terms of achieve the particular number. Third is identify the format also. Like if you have to submit the project within 3 months, so accordingly you have to play. Just like a cricket, if it is a 2020 match, you cannot play like a test match, right? So you have to take that team members, you have to allow them to play, you have to understand the format. So this is a very crucial role, which is I'm relating to the cricket, but you have to identify this role, you have to understand these things, right? Like how to achieve that particular number. In the last slide, I mentioned about the financial number, which is more important. You will not achieve unless and until all the teams, your team members are giving your best, they are performing well, right? So these are the skill set are required. I am repeating again, identify the particular skill set of your employees, allow them, transfer that ownership, allow them to play as their skill, give some decision making, transfer that ownership, right? And understand the client requirement. Now I will say format of the game is basically client requirement, right? You have to fulfill that particular requirement. You are doing some consultancy work related to the agriculture or a processing or like, so you have to understand the client requirement. Accordingly, you have to do the things, right? So accordingly, you have to plan. So there are the things required. Again, we are going in how to scale up your business. Implementation we cover, team management we cover, right? Strategy we cover. So we are going ahead. So if you are any tech company, right? I generally go with the like you should have the 3V strategy. What is the 3V strategy? You will not find in any book. First, I call it as a virtual. Second is a completely a variable cost, and third is the value addition, right? So what are these 3Vs? We will take a general example for the Ola. If I'm not wrong, I'm sitting in the Mumbai. Maybe today they are also having like a 15 to 20 lakhs customer in a day. Yes, they must be having, right? But you can't believe they don't have any office in Mumbai. It's a completely virtual, right? It's completely variable cost. They don't have any cab with them. So if you are working in a tech startup, you are thinking from the tech point of view, that kind of startup or that kind of business idea. So you should be focused on the virtual side, variable cost, and the third is the most important is the value addition. What value addition, continuous value addition you are giving to your customer, right? Customer having a lot of choices these days. Again, you can relate with the marketing. So what continuous value addition, how to keep it with you, how to intact with you, that is more important. And that can be possible only through the value addition, right? When we started with the Ola, if you remember 5 years, 10 years back, we used to make a call, right? It's completely on the virtual now, only on the app base. Right now, we are having a credit facility also, Ola credit also, Ola money also. It's a value addition. So you always make the value addition. That is the reason his valuation is much more, right? So this is the kind of 3V strategy applied for the tech startup. I already shared this example. In terms of the trading, if you are thinking about the trading business or trading startup, maybe FNV or export or something. So you have to focus on the 3 things: quality, quantity, and the commitment, which is more important. Again, I said, if I'm like a processor, maybe ADM, Bunge, Cargill, so I have to run my plants. I want the quality also and the quantity also. But third, more important, the commitment. If you make a commitment, okay, we will supply this particular quantity, right? So you should, that commitment is more also important. So these are the things, if you are doing into the planning into the trading business, which is required, right? What about the fintech startup? You know, there are a lot of fintech we are talking about, like NBFCs also, there are startups, they are working in the fintech segment. So it should be a very customized product. It should be a very simple product, right? For that, I will say many times, what are the mistakes the startups are doing? They're developing something and they're finding the customers. That is the wrong way. First, you should go to the customer, identify his requirement, and then develop your product, right? So that is the more important. It should be simple, it should be customized, and it should be as per the requirement of the client. It's applicable in terms of the fintech, basically, which are you are having so many projects, but which is more relevant for them. Speed, at what rate you are giving, right? At how if it's having a requirement and you are filling within the time, that is more important. Government regulation, you know, like government is having a very tight regulation in terms of fintech, so you should have one eye on that. One of the slide I mentioned that strong leader should have the sharp eyes for here. Okay, what are the government regulation, right? This is very important. Credibility and the visibility of the credit. Whenever you are giving a credit, there is always a risk involved. maybe you will say, ki, okay, right now we are only student, but you can join any finance company, you can join banks, you can join any NBFC, right? So that is the thing. These are the important for you also, right? So this is about the first part we cover in terms of the how to scale up your business, how to manage the team, what is the role of a founder, co-founder, right? What kind of communication required, personal, official, motivational, right? Any doubt till the time? Now we are shifting on the second part, financing and equity for the particular startup. That one of the dot in the agriculture ecosystem, right? If you remember the second slide. Yeah. Any doubt till the time? Or you would like to add it from your side?
Dear student, please ask your question, or you can also write in chat box.
So I am assuming like you are understanding everything or you're not understanding anything. These are the only two scenarios. Should I consider one?
No, they understanding, sir, but because of the shy nature, I think that's why they are not asking.
Okay, okay, no issue. So how to raise the
Yes,
debt
sir.
and equity funding, right, for the startups? So there are two types of funding we generally read in the newspaper or like in the other things. Okay, there is the particular amount of equity, right? Debt funding. So in terms of equity, also there are multiple, like seed funding is there. You are giving the ownership, right? You are diluting your stake, right? Debt funding, there are multiple products we will cover in the like a couple of next slides. So there's a code like beware of the little expenses, because that small link can also sink the great ship. Why the equity funding is more important, right? So what is the equity funding? It's basically raising the capital, right? By sharing your shares of the company to the public or institutional or particular institutional or investor, right? There are different types of investor, angel investor, venture capital, or IPO also, like one of the these days, you are listening like, okay, the particular company going for the IPO, initial public offering, they're listing on the Bombay Stock Exchange. So that is also one of the good way to raise the capital, right? So accordingly, the valuation change. So anyone aware about like a valuation? How the valuation, there are loss-making companies. Many people ask me, sir, there is a loss-making company, they are burning the cash, but their still valuation is in the billions of dollars. Don't you never got this thought process or this question in mind? Anyone can mute. Look at the Ola, they are loss-making firm, right? They are burning the cash. They're working from last so many years, but still in the loss making. But their valuation is billions of dollars. So many investors are already put up the money, and so many other investors are also ready to put the money. Why? Any finance faculty also can speak on this?
The valuation is a value of asset of a
Okay. I will clarify. If we take a very simple example, any startup is there, you are having 100% equity, right? I will give you another 50 rupees. I will say, okay, I will take a 50% ownership of your equity from your startup, right? So that 100 plus 50, how much it is become? It's become a 150. But when I ask you, okay, I will take a 50% of the equity, how much is my ownership in terms of the amount? It's become a 75 rupees, right? If I invested another 50 and your valuation become 200 rupees, right? I'm having a 50% stake already. So my valuation become a 100 rupees. And another investment, like a second round of investment, with that 50 rupees, I can ask another 5% or 10%. So my valuation become 120 rupees, 150 rupees, right? So it's a completely valuation game. You will not find in any books also. There are valuation, different methods are there, but this tech companies valuation is completely different ball game altogether, right? And there is a lot of funding is equity funding is coming in the like Ninja Card. I think they have raised more than 7,000 crores. Sammunati, they have raised more than 4,000, 5,000 crores. Ninja Card, Bijak, there are long list, right? Why this they are giving this kind of funding? But the people's investor, they are looking from the valuation point of view. There's a beautiful quote by the MS Swaminathan, like future of nation belong with the grain, not with the guns, right? So they are seeing this valuation in the agri space. That is the reason this startups getting a good amount of equity, right? You should at least not in a detail, but you should have that basic idea. It's really good for you in terms of the interviews going ahead, in terms of campus selection. if you know these things, if you know this concept, right? When to dilute equity, at what rate to dilute? This is the most important question. Many investors, many startups ask me. You can't believe all the successful, like even the unicorn, Flipkart or Ola, or like even, I will not disclose the name, but their ownership of the founder is less than a single digit these days. 6%, 7%, less than 10%. Because they diluted the equity with the wrong percentage in the initial stage, right? So how to dilute the equity, I will not go in a much detail. We are just in a basic discussion. So it's a very important thing. So how to dilute the equity and what percentage also, right? So debt funding is basically kind of loan you are taking from the bank with particular interest rate and for the agreed period of time. It's a secure loan, unsecured loan, right? So there are multiple types of loan. You can get it from the bank also and from the any NBFC also, right? There are multiple products in terms of the debt finance. Debt finance is also there. Bill discounting is also there. Bill to ship to arrangement is also there. So why any bank or NBFC will give a loan to the particular startup, right? What is a bill discounting? I will cover in a little bit detail. So one startup, I will not disclose the name. When I was in Sammunati, I had given a good amount of fundings. We have funded more than 160 startups in the agriculture and food processing sector, right? So one of the startup, they are supplying, they are basically into the trading business of the dry fruits, right? So they are supplying to the big basket. A big basket is not making an immediate payment. They are making a payment after 45 days, right? But just for example, if you want to source some makhana from Bihar, it will take nearly, even right now with the current prices, it will take 16 to 18 lakhs rupees for a sourcing of 1 truck of makhana. You will do a sourcing, you have to make an immediate payment, you will do a transportation, you will supply. After 45 days, you will get the money from the big basket, right? But you are having an order from the big basket, right? So in that case, for that particular trade, any NBFC or any bank can finance your that particular trade, right? Bill discounting, like Olam International. So they are the largest trading firm in the world. So they are having more than like thousands of suppliers, but they are making a payment after 120 days, right? If you are a supplier to the Olam, you are getting a payment after 120 days, right? You cannot wait because it's a seasonal activity. You have to rotate that money. So any bank, any NBFC can do the bill discounting. Okay, their money is coming from the Olam. So if you are having an invoice for 100 rupees, they will make an immediate payment of 98 rupees to you, right? And they can make an escrow arrangement, just like a current and saving account. Escrow account can also open in the bank. Okay, Olam is also there, the startup will be also there, and the particular NBFC or bank will also there. So they will do the bill discounting, right? Bill to ship to model. What kind of like a bill to ship to? If I want to do a sourcing from the FPO, I want to supply to the ADM, which is the largest processor for the soybean, right? So you will work on the bill to ship to. Okay, that FPO will make a billing to me and he will make a shipment to the particular plant, right? Once that GRN issue, I will make an immediate payment to him. So billing to me and shipment to the particular location, right? So there are different types of financial products which are available in the banks and the NBFC. You can go in terms of the more details, but these are the kind of instrument available in terms of the debt funding also, right? So I think we are a little bit short in terms of the timing. So there are a couple of posting or couple of like organizations, they are supporting startup or seed funding. So these are the couple of screenshot I put it. Maybe I'm not sure about the dates, but you can check. But every year they organize like this BIRAC, they are giving a 50 lakhs rupees grant to the startups, right? Sammunati every year, like just last month they had organized this event, and like they had more than like 28 awards for the each state, and like separate award for the women startups, right? So every year they are also organizing this kind of things. So you can just keep this IIT Mandi. They are every year they like doing this activity, and I think throughout the year you can submit your business plan to them and they give the kind of seed funding, right? So there are a couple of opportunities are available if you're having a business idea, team, in everything in place. So funding is not an issue these days. Okay, funding is not an issue. You should have the scalable model. You should have that proper team. You should have that numbers. You should have that future projections. So funding is not an issue, right? So this is again like a couple of chamber. They are also helping in terms of the seed funding, right? So you can, I'm also having this Agri Network LinkedIn page, so you can get all the kind of details there also. You can just searching on the LinkedIn Agri Network Consultancy. So in personal capacity, I always used to post this, all the things, right? So we are not finished the session because Dr. Kumud Shukla requested to cover the career opportunity also from your point of view. So that also we will cover. But before that, like two parts we have covered. Like one is the how to scale up your business, and second, how to raise the debt and equity fund. Any question till the time? Or you would like to add, or anything you would like to understand more? You can unmute and speak.
what
think
should be ideal ratio for debt plus equity ratio?
what is the ideal ratio for?
Debt plus equity ratio initial level.
Because that's also like which segment you are working about, like what is your numbers, what is your future projection, that really matters. If you are really like, as a leader, as a founder, I always say to all the startups, you should have the own funding. At least you can survive your business for at least for 2 years, right? Without any funding. Generally, this is the happening these days. Okay, they are going with the business and we will raise the equity or funding. Ideally, you should have the money to at least you float your business with all the expenditure. At least you should be able to run from your package at least for 2 years. Initially, I will suggest go with the kind of 5%, 10%, maximum 20% of dilution of your equity, right? Because again, along with the equity, you are diluting your voting rights, right? So many times that if you are diluting so much of equity with more than 20%, so you are giving your double rights to the investor, right? So your decision making, you are losing it. It's not a, there are a couple of hostile like recent example, like about the NDTV, right? Adani Group took the hostile takeover for the NDTV, right? So the diluting the equity is a very crucial decision, but in the initial stage, you should go with the single digit number, I will say. Yeah. Any other question?
Okay.
I think the next topic is more important for you, the career opportunity. As I said, agriculture is the oldest business we are doing on this planet and it will continue forever. So there are a lot of opportunity for you. Don't worry. I generally bifurcate in the two sides. One is the input side, another is the output side before the harvesting. So many companies are there, like a seed, fertilizer, agrochemicals like Syngenta, Monsanto, DuPont. We used to call it as a ABCD, like A is ADM, B for Bunge, C for Cargill, E for ATG, N for NCDX, right? And for Nagarjuna. So many organizations are there. I forget about the tell about the Nagarjuna. So we are the largest urea manufacturer in India. We are also having the fertilizer plant also. We are having a couple of group companies, like we are having a Nagarjuna Agrochemicals, Nagarjuna Construction, Nagarjuna Pharma. So we are the largest conglomerate group in the South India. We are not much visible, but we are having a pan-India dealers distribution network for the fertilizer business and the urea business. We are having a couple of IT companies also. Farmgate Solutions, Fergus India Limited, that is the largest water soluble company, right? We are also a strategic implementation partner for the ENAM project to the government of India. So we are working basically into the input side, right? There are a couple of companies which has a potential recruiter or potential, they can come for the campus to you, like a processors, traders, exporter, exchanges, like anything they are input using as agriculture input, they are using for the processing, right? Like ADM, Bunge, Cargill, they are the basically trading firms, right? Nestle, Parle, ITC. In terms of the bifurcation, generally the pay structure is more little bit on the higher side in terms of the output side. For the girls, I will say the opportunities are on the little bit on as compared lower on the input side with the seed fertilizer company, because it's a little bit more traveling job. But there are so many openings in the input side, especially in the seed companies, fertilizer company, agrochemical company, because every district, every state, they are having the zonal representatives, ZSM, RSM. So there are a lot of opportunities are there, right? Again, you have to be in the more exposure, because exposure matters more than number of years of experience. So you have to be well connected, right? Different stages of the career. Whenever you are joining the organization, I generally bifurcate in the like a 4-way. One is that you are joining with the low skill with the very high energy. Second is that you are having the medium skill with the medium energy. And third is the high skill but with low energy. Means like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, your skill set is on the higher side, but कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा energy level कम हो जाता है. You are joining as a fresher from the campus. Your skill set is low, but your energy level is high. So as a team leader, that's also you have to keep in the mind. There are some extraordinary cases, like the founders or co-founder for the companies or like these startups. I will say they are very good in terms of the skill set and in terms of the high energy, who created the valuation, right? Who created the growth for the particular company, right? For the successful career, I will say the continuous learning is most important part. Whatever the stage of your career, like I have completed more than like 15 years of experience in the agriculture industry, but still I have to learn so many things. So that zeal should be always there. You should you should learn that learning is more important, right? Develop your professional network, right? Organization, as an example, I will say it's a pyramid structure, right? For any organization, the CEO or the CFO will be only one person. At the bottom of that, like assistant manager, senior manager, you will find so many people, right? Again, there are different verticals. So it's a completely pyramid structure. The more you will move in the career, maybe from like a assistant manager to AVP, VP, senior VP, the openings are less, right? So you have to create your own professional network. Again, it's maybe in the teaching job also it's required. Okay, if you know somebody in the university or VC or like HR of the department, you get that opportunity as a joining as a faculty member, right? But it's more happen when you are going in the senior positions, because generally organizations also prefer these days they should get this at least strong feedback about the particular candidate. So for especially VP and above, senior VP or executive director, this kind of position generally fill up by the reference. So you have to build up that whole professional network for yourself, right? That is more important. Domain expertise, whatever the domain you will work, maybe on the input side, seed side, or fertilizer or agrochemical company, you should be able to build up your own domain expertise. That is more important for the successful career, right? I know a couple of people 5 years down the line, 8 साल का experience है, 10 साल का experience है, they are not able to get the new openings or good packages. They are struggling because they are unable to develop their own domain expertise, right? You will understand after 10 minutes of interaction or like interview, another person will interact how much like the depth of the water you know, right? So you have to always focus on this point. Work on the soft skill, communication skill, which is also very important going ahead in all kind of careers, right? So this is considering the time constraint, I am closing it here. Otherwise, there are so many topics we can cover it for another one session, like a team management or dilute the equity fundings or how to manage the projects or something like that. But still, I am closing here. So this is all about from my side. Yeah, so you can start your videos. Any question from your side or any question you would like to add anything? First topic we have covered about the how to scale up your business, team management, project management, to-do list, right? And then about the like how to raise the debt funding, what is the equity funding, right? And about your career opportunity also. Any question?
Sir, my question is,
Yeah.
big problem is sir, connectivity of marketing. That means, sir, it is true that government does start e-NAM scheme for connectivity of market through online trading platform. But
Right.
sir, transportation is a big problem in marketing connectivity. Sir, when you have memorized our modern history, then you have find that railways and other transportation system was developed by Britishers for marketing purposes, and they easily collect raw materials from all over India and used for production. And this is a big reason of industrial revolution in that time. But so, sir, my question is, how can improve the transportation and supply chain system in agriculture?
Again, you can agriculture is a very bulky atom. Like if you want to transport saffron, we call it as like a kesar. It will be fixed up in your pocket, right? But if you were to trade like a soybean or pulses or wheat or rice, it's a very bulky atom, right? So again, there is a perishability also there, especially in the fruits and vegetable segment. So transportation is always will be an issue, but tech can also solve that issue in terms of the which is the warehouse available nearby, right? Which are the immediate transportation facility. Portable cold storage is also like a couple of startups working on that, right? Because especially we always heard about more than 20 to 30% transportation losses or in terms of the FNV, fruits and vegetable, right? So portable cold storage also coming these days. What happened? This is a very unorganized market. You know about the Parle, Nestle, Britannia, Rocket, right? But you can't believe they're also 80% depend upon the unorganized sector. They are having their own processing plant. They are having a whole distribution network, but they are also, this is the unorganized market. So that is the reason this is the, like a little bit more gaps in this segment. So you can work on these gaps. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I wanted to know one thing, that if we import what do you call these dates from Middle East, will the NBFCs or the banks will support the import? I mean, the cost of import.
Generally, as an NBFC, we'll look after the trade finance, trade capital, and the social capital also. If you are having a regular order, we will see, okay, last 1 year you are doing a particular trading with the particular firm. You are getting a payment on time from the particular buyer. So in that case, particular NBFC can take a call in that case, right?
But
Again,
then if a new person like me wants to import some dates or some items which are sold on the Diwali festival. So as a startup, will the which organization will help a person, a new startup like me? I mean, it's a very not a startup kind of a thing, but it's a business kind of a trading kind of a thing. So
I got your point. I got your
yeah.
point. So you're looking for the finance for the initial stage, right? So
Yeah,
as a financer, if you put your legs in the financer shoes, he's putting the money, right? So there is
Yes.
a risk involved along with the money. So he wanted that trust actually. To at least you are able to show the two transactions. Okay, I have submitted, I have this transaction maybe for the small quantity, but I just successfully completed this two transaction, right? So for the first transaction, you can ask for the you can ask for the capital. That is called, we call it as a working capital basically. So you
Yes.
can get that working capital. If your buyer is a big buyer, so you can generally go for the escrow arrangement, right? So in that case, I have given a good amount of funding to the Jain Irrigation. Jain Irrigation is almost like they are struggling with the kind of their debt, which is more than 4,000 crore debt from the SBI, right? But
Yeah.
they are the largest mango pulp supplier to the PepsiCo, right? So it's an escrow arrangement with the PepsiCo. Okay, our payment will come from the PepsiCo, not from the Jain Irrigation, right? So in your case, you are supplying to the big basket. If I, as a financer, my payment is coming from the big basket, not from you. So first the payment will come to me. I will deduct my amount and then the remaining amount margin will go to you. So that kind of arrangement, that kind of financial products are available.
Okay, so
That
this
will not be an
means
issue.
I have to find a AAA rated buyer first and then go for this kind of a business.
Not necessarily AAA buyer, but it's a very authentic buyer, and that at least 1 or 2 transactions should be happen on the regular basis. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank
Yeah.
you for your input, sir.
Any other student, faculty member you would like to add, or you would like to add anything also? Yeah, go ahead. You can unmute and you can speak.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Any participant, if you want to ask anything?
If they don't have any question, I think like I'm not sure about their schedule, so we
Yes.
can close
Yes,
the
sir.
call.
Yes.
We can close the session.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for delivering such an informative talk on. You have discussed about how to develop the startup. Also, you have discussed about the agri ecosystem participants, how to develop the revenue model, the funding of a startup, as well as financing equity plus debt model also. So thanks, sir. I would like to request our Ganesh sir Ganesh sir, you are here. Ganesh sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I would like to invite you to kindly facilitate our speaker with a memento of love.
Okay, okay. You please, sir.
Yes. My screen is visible, sir?
Yeah, it was visible in between. Now it's not again completely blank. Yeah, now it's visible.
Sir, this is the appreciation for Galgotia University. And thank you very much. And accept this memento from our side. Thank you very much for your precious time you have given to us. And Dr. Kumud is keep in touch and trying to get your precious time to deliver a lecture, but it is very difficult to manage a lecture in this very short notice. And so we are very thankful to you, and your lecture is indeed very helpful for faculty like us and our student as well. We will keep in touch with you and take your a few more lecture in upcoming semester. So because in October onwards, we have first semester student will come. So we will invite you, sir, again, and get your experience and your knowledge will get helpful to our students. Because Government of India initiative is mostly in the startup entrepreneurs. So we are working on that direction.
Okay.
So all these words, I say thank you. And now I request to, if Kumud is there. Kumud, are you there? Dr. Kumud?
Sir. Yes, sir.
I request to Kumud, please share your vote of thanks to sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Kumud Sukla, Assistant Professor, School of Agriculture. I hope that all students and faculties are benefited from this validatory session. I am very thankful to Ravi sir for giving such an informative and applicable session in a very short period of time. One thing I want to say about Ravi sir, he is a very dynamic, motivational leader and philanthropic person also. He motivated and suggests everyone, several students and job seekers for choosing right career path. I am very thankful to him for giving such an informative session. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Hope it will be useful for you. And like anything related to the for the students, I am always ready to contribute from my side. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Dear participant, we have also circulated the feedback link in the chat box. Kindly fill your the feedback form. So your opinions matter for us. Kindly give your feedback.
Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you,
I will
sir.
listen.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, sir.